Now I'm going to tell you 6 ways that a DUI can become a felony. Number 1, convictions for prior DUIs create repeat offender status. Each state makes its own rules whether a second, third, fourth, whatever it will be a felony for you. Some of these states say that it's how many offenses you have in a certain number of years. Some states make it lifetime. For example, when I was handling a case in Michigan, the gentleman was charged with a felony because it was a third in 10 years, and before we finished that case, the legislature had made it a third lifetime. So remember, repeat offenses are a problem. Number 2, if you seriously injure another person in an accident while DUI, that also can be a felony. This person can be a person from your own family, it can be a person in another vehicle, it can be a pedestrian. Serious injury also can be fairly minor, such as a broken bone, stitches are required, or somebody who got burned in the accident. The typical prison time around the United States for this offense is 1 to 20 years in state prison. Laws vary in the different states, but it is a very serious offense and a felony. Number 3, if you kill another person as a result of a DUI-related accident, this can also be a felony. Once again, the person can be one of your own family members. It could be a person in another vehicle or a pedestrian. If the death is immediate or delayed, that is, that the person doesn't die immediately, this type of offense carries prison time typically from 3 to 20 years in state prison. Laws vary from state to state. Several states call this murder. Alabama, North Carolina, California all have murder statutes relating to DUI death cases. Number 4, having contraband substances in the vehicle such as marijuana or cocaine, having children in the car when stopped for DUI, or having a gun in the car when you're in violation of state law or city ordinances, all can create a felony when something started out as a misdemeanor. The state law that you're in will define who is a child, but this is typically children between ages 12 to 15. And if you have a person in your car who is a child and you're convicted of DUI, you're going to have multiple DUI charges, one for you and one for each child in the vehicle. That's under several state laws, including Georgia. Often these sentences, when you have children in the car, carry a mandatory jail time. That is, you can't get less than so many days in jail. It might be 10, and in Illinois, for example, it's 6 months minimum mandatory prison time. Number 5, if by virtue of a prior bad driving record, you've already been declared an habitual violator in your state, and you are later found behind the wheel, even if you're not DUI, this can be a felony. Don't ever risk another serious offense like a year or 5 years in prison based on this felony by getting behind the wheel if you've been declared habitual violator. Number 6, the Interstate Compact Law, which applies in all states across the country. This is a law that says if you have a second lifetime conviction in your lifetime, this means forever, you could have it 20 years apart, and you're put on probation for longer than 12 months, this applies to 100% of repeat offender DUI cases, then you're going to be treated like a sex offender. All of your travel will be restricted. You cannot leave the state where you were sentenced on probation without the probation officer's written permission. You can't go to another state without the permission of that state to let you come to that state. It would be a nightmare for anyone who had to travel for business. If you want more details, go to www.interstatecompact.org and read the law.